Welcome to the 1900s, where we explore the events that changed history. Today we're taking you back to a moment of uprising, tragedy, and justice. The Attica Prison Riot of 1971. This is one of the most significant prison revolts in American history, and its impact still resonates today. Stick around as we uncover the truth behind this chaotic and unforgettable event. It's the early morning of September 9th, 1971. Inside the walls of Attica Correctional Facility in New York, tensions have reached a boiling point. Prisoners, most of them Black and Latino, have been living in overcrowded, inhumane conditions, deprived of basic human rights. They're denied access to adequate medical care, forced to work for pennies, and given barely enough food to survive. For weeks, the frustration had been simmering. The prisoners had tried to negotiate better conditions, but their pleas were ignored. Then, on that fateful September morning, everything exploded. It started in the prison yard. A group of inmates overpowered guards and quickly took control of parts of the facility. Within hours, more than 1,200 prisoners had joined the uprising, and 42 staff members were taken hostage. The men made their demands clear: better living conditions, fair wages, and the right to political and religious freedom. Outside the prison walls, the country watched in shock as news of the rebellion spread. For 4 days, the prisoners held their ground, engaging in tense negotiations with prison officials and state leaders. But as the days dragged on, the situation grew more desperate. The inmates felt their demands were falling on deaf ears, and the atmosphere inside Attica became increasingly volatile. By September 13th, negotiations had broken down. New York Governor Nelson Rockefeller refused to visit the prison or make any compromises with the inmates. Instead, he made a fateful decision, authorizing a violent retaking of the facility. What happened next was nothing short of a massacre. Heavily armed state troopers, correction officers, and police forces stormed Attica with tear gas and guns. In the chaos that followed, 29 prisoners and 10 hostages were killed. Many of the hostages were killed by the bullets of law enforcement, not by the inmates they were holding. The brutal response shocked the nation. The Attica Prison Riot was over, but the questions had just begun. How did things escalate to such a deadly conclusion? Why was such extreme force used against men who were fighting for basic human rights? In the years that followed, investigations exposed the truth. Prisoners were subjected to abuse, and the state had responded with excessive, deadly force. The events at Attica forced America to confront the harsh realities of its prison system. The riot brought attention to the need for reform, shining a light on the abuses behind bars. Although changes were slow, the legacy of Attica lives on in the continuing fight for prison reform and justice for incarcerated people. Today, the Attica Prison Riot serves as a grim reminder of what can happen when justice is ignored. But it's also a symbol of resistance, a reminder that even in the darkest of places, the fight for human dignity never ends. Thanks for watching the 1900s. If this video gave you a new perspective on the Attica Prison Riot, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the history that shaped the world we live in today. We'll see you next time on the 1900s, where history comes to life.